The Senate will come to order. Majority Leader Shuffle, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, guests in the gallery, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar,
Excused?
Balmer, Baumgardner, Carroll, Cook, Crowder, Donovan, Garcia, Grantham, Guzman,
Excused?
Heath, Hill, Hodge, Holbert,
Excused?
John,
Excused?
Johnston, Jones, Kafalas, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez Jimenez, Merrifield, Neville,
Excused?
Newell, Roberts, Sheffel, Scott, Sonnenberg, Stedman, Todd,
Excused?
Ulibarri, Woods, Mr. President,
Here. With 29 present, 0 absent, 6 excused, we have a quorum. Majority Leader Shuffle, for a motion to adopt the journal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the Journal of March 27th not be read and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The motion is approved. The journal is adopted. Committee reports.
March 27, 2015, Committee on Legal Services, after consideration on the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 100 be amended as follows, now so amended, but for the Committee of the Whole, favorable recommendation.
Senate Services.
March 30th, 2015, correctly printed, Senate Bills 234, 235, 236, 237, 238, 239, 240, 241, 242, 243, 244, 245, 246, 247, 248, 249, 250, 251, 253, and 254, and 255, Senate Joint Resolution 21, correctly engrossed, Senate Joint Resolution 14, correctly revised, House Bills 1008, 1246, 1256, correctly re-revised, House Bill 1197.
Please add Senator Aguilar to the roll. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I move that the Senate proceed out of order for purposes of hearing a tribute.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will proceed out of order for the purpose of hearing a tribute. Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have some guests today I'd like to talk to you about. What we have is a delegation from Tunisia, and all of these gentlemen are in the Parliament of Tunisia. And it's quite an exciting area that they represent, and that area is Tunisia. Tunisia has a history that goes back about 5,000 years. It's one of the first recorded areas of mankind, and it's a remarkable history. They border the Mediterranean on the north as well as the east, and they are in the northern part of Africa. It's just, it sounds like an extremely interesting area. Their history, basically they were somewhat occupied by the Phoenicians, the Berbers, the Ottoman Empire, and currently their laws and whatnot, they are a constitutional republic. They've had free elections since 2011. They're a European member. And they also have a lot of, they gained their independence from France in 1956. So a lot of their street signs and whatnot have a French influence on it. But they at this point in time are a democracy. And the interesting thing that I really liked about reading about them was that they do not support Sharia law. And it is a Islam nation. And, there's just a lot about it that I felt extremely interested in. And what they are doing here today is basically an agricultural corroboration. And, I think it's going to be an exciting event. We will meet with him later in the day. But I'm going to try and introduce some of these people to you. And I apologize for my pronunciation of the names. And when I get done, Senator Roberts is going to read or maybe Senator Roberts would like to read no, not the names,
Please direct your discussion through the President.
Oh, okay. Senator Roberts has been practicing, so we'll let her introduce.
Senator Crowder, that's $10. We'll explain later.
Thank you.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. And it is my honor to introduce to you today members of the Tunisian Parliament. I had the opportunity to go to Algeria a few years ago and work with members of Parliament in Algiers. And I commend the Tunisians for their dedication to democracy. And so we would like to extend our warmest welcome to Badreddine Abdel Kefi, Ali Bennour, Jalel Gadira, Olfa Sukri, Bashir Lazim. And with that, if we could give them our warmest Colorado welcome.
I would like I would like to congratulate Senator Roberts on the pronunciation. Every time she said a name, somebody stood up. Thank you for joining us. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. And these are the visiting members of the Tunisian parliament, as the good senator from Alamosa said. They're on their agricultural policy development study tour of the United States. Tunisia and Colorado share rich agricultural traditions and values, and it's our privilege to participate in this cultural exchange. We look forward to the lessons we can learn from each other. We commend Tunisia for its commitment to democracy and wish the country and its citizens a bright and prosperous future. Thanks again for being here.
Please add Senator John and Senator Neville to the roll. And Senator Holbert. You're already on the roll. Senator Johnston.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members. I wanted to take a quick moment. I asked for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that's the right thing to do. I wanted to bring a quick tribute to recognize the 20th anniversary of the Denver International Airport, which I have the privilege of hosting in my district. And we had it a couple weeks ago, but wanted to be able to get a chance to recognize that. Known to many as the gateway to Colorado, some facts you probably want to know about DIA. One is that the Denver International Airport sits on a tract of land that is 53 square miles, which is almost twice the size of the island of Manhattan in itself. And so if you ever wonder why I need all that space to get out there, it's because we want to have plenty of room out here in Colorado. But it is also the only domestic airport built in the last 25 years in the United States. And so one of the major transportation undertakings of the last 20 years. It's now the 5th busiest airport in the country. It generates $26.3 billion a year in economic revenue. And so we are delighted to celebrate its 20th anniversary. I'd like to read this quick tribute, which says, "The Senate of the Colorado Legislature, convened in the first regular session, hereby extends heartiest congratulations and commendation to the Denver International Airport. As DIA celebrates its 20th anniversary, the Colorado Legislature extends its sincerest congratulations and gratitude. In the past 20 years, DIA has grown to become the 5th busiest airport in the country, generates an estimated $26 billion in annual economic impact for the region. With its iconic white tents, beautiful artwork, and of course, an unforgettable and angry horse sculpture. DIA is an extraordinary gateway to and from the state of Colorado. We are thankful for everything DIA has done and look forward to an exciting future." On request of Senator Mike Johnston, given this 30th day of March 2015, State Capitol, Denver, Colorado, signed by someone whose name shall go unnamed.
Not if you would like to continue to be recognized.
Signed by the most dignified and long-serving Senate President Bill Cadman. So I'd like to thank so much the members of the DIA team who are here this morning to help honor our work, if they wouldn't mind standing. And thank you so much for your work in leading Denver International Airport.
Please add Senator Guzman to the roll. Colleagues, we're going to stand in a brief recess to greet our guests. The Senate will come back to order. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Mr. Majors, please read the title of all the bills on the third reading of bills, consent calendar.
House Bill 1246 by Representatives Lee and Pabon, Senator Sheffel and Hill concerning the authorization of crowdfunding of interstate securities. House Bill 1008 by Representative Hamner, Senator Roberts concerning the classification of agricultural land when the land is destroyed by a natural cause.
Majority Leader Sheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. To move that the Senate adopt all the bills on the third reading of bills for final passage consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1246 and House Bill 1008.
You have heard the motion. Is there further discussion on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Are there any no votes on any of the bills? Senator Crowder.
I'll be a no vote on 1246.
Senator Crowder will be a no vote on House Bill 1256. I'm sorry, 46. Further no votes. With 33 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1246 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Senator Holbert, Senator Kafalis, Senator Scott, Senator Newell, Senator Ulibarri, Senator Neville, Senator Woods, Senator Cook, Senator Kerr, Senator Merrifield, Senator Donovan, Senator Lundberg, Senator Roberts, Senator Grantham, Senator Lambert, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Marble, Senator Heath, Senator John, Senator Johnston, Senator Garcia, Senator Baumgardner, co-sponsors, Senator Aguilar, please have the President. With 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1008 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Mr. Majority Leader, Senator Kafalis, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Donovan, Senator Crowder, Senator Cook, Senator Merrifield, Senator Aguilar, Senator Woods, Senator Grantham, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Scott, Senator Marble, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Jones, co-sponsors, Senator Newell, Senator Johnston, Senator Garcia, please have the President. Third reading of bills. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1130.
House Bill 1130 by Representatives Nordberg and write-in Senators Garcia and Hill concerning voting by military and overseas voters in municipal elections, the connection therewith extending certain deadlines that govern the conduct of municipal elections to ensure that such voters have the same ability to vote in such elections as they do in federal, state, and county elections.
Majority Leader Sheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that House Bill 1130 lay over to April 6.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 1130 will lay over until April 6th. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1256.
House Bill 1256 by Representative Mitch Bush and Senator Baumgardner concerning the reclassification of Routt County to a Category 2 county for the purpose of establishing the salaries of county officers.
Senator Baumgardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1256 and ask for an aye vote on third read on final passage.
Is there further discussion on House Bill 1256? Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to explain my reason for voting yes on this bill. And my reason for voting yes on this bill is that I support the outcome that passage of this bill will produce, but I think this is the wrong way to get us there. We are slowly and steadily reclassifying counties each session because of county salary issues, not because of things going on in the county, not because our classification system for the counties is going to have any consistency or rationale to it. It's because we, as a General Assembly, have refused to take up the bill recommended by the Salary Commission for county officers to address county officer salaries. And because of our failure to do that, because it's politically uncomfortable for us to talk about elected official salaries, we instead keep chipping away bit by bit at classifications of counties, moving them into categories that they may not really fit in purely for outcome-related reasons because of county officer salaries. There's a better way to deal with this problem, and I wish we'd take that up. But because we're not, I'll be voting yes on this bill.
Is there further discussion on House Bill 1256? Please add Senator Todd to the roll call. The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1256. Are there any no votes? Senator Neville? Senator Todd? Senator Donovan? Senator Jones? Senator John? Senator Johnston? No votes. With 29 ayes, 6 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1256 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Senator Crowder, Senator Roberts, Senator Hodge, Senator Guzman, General Order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the General Orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of General Orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Woods will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, would you please read the titles to all of the bills listed on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1142 by Representative McCain and Senator Guzman concerning the conduct of foreclosure sales by a public trustee and in connection therewith authorizing the conduct of foreclosure sales through the Internet and other electronic media and authorizing the collection of fees by electronic transfer. House Bill 1183 by Representative Fields and Senator Guzman concerning the admission of a child's statements describing attempted acts of unlawful sexual offense. House Bill 1073 by Representative Salazar and Senator Ulibarri concerning allowing a driver to challenge the validity of a law enforcement officer's initial contact with the driver. Senate Bill 221 by Senator Cook and Representatives Danielson and Priola concerning public transit officers. House Bill 1191 by Representative Pedersen and Senator Grantham concerning the addition of dentists to the Physician Designation Disclosure Act. House Bill 1224 by Representative Mitch Bush and Senators Hill and Todd concerning accounting for state monies received by public post-secondary institutions that do not participate in the College Opportunity Fund program.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the committee adopt all the bills on the General Order second reading of bills consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1142 and its associated Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report, House Bill 1183, House Bill 1073, Senate Bill 221, House Bill 1191, and House Bill 1224.
Is there any discussion on any of the committee reports? The motion before the body is the adoption of all of the reports to all of the bills on the General Order second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the reports are adopted. Is there any discussion on any of the bills listed on the general orders consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the general orders second reading of bills consent calendar. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Thank you. The Senate will come back to order. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
March 30th, 2015, Mr. President, your committee of the whole brings the reports under consideration. The following tax bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 221 passed on second reading in order to gross place the counter for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1142 is amended. House Bills 1183, 1073, 1191, 1224 passed on second reading in order to revise place on the counter for third reading and final passage.
Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Is there further discussion on the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 221 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1142 as amended. House Bill 1183. House Bill 1073. House Bill 1191. House Bill 1224 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. General orders, second reading of bills. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general orders second reading of bills calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders second reading of bills. Senator Woods will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, Senator Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the committee take up Senate Bill 218 first on general order, second reading of bills, followed by the remaining bills in the order listed in the calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 218?
Senate Bill 218 by Senators Roberts and Cook and Representative Williams concerning requiring a law enforcement agency to disclose whether a peace officer has made a knowing misrepresentation in certain settings.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 218, and we don't have any committee reports.
We do have a Judiciary Committee report, I believe.
And I move the Judiciary Committee report.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. To the committee report.
In committee, we made some changes, basically cleanup changes to get the language here. We were talking about the sustained findings of force. It's a pretty extensive committee report. And I keep hearing Mike Johnson, Senator, the good senator from Denver, and his laugh. So the disclosure of knowing misrepresentation by a peace officer and discussing about the waiver process. And I would ask for an aye vote. And I will be happy to share more as we move into the bill.
Is there any further discussion to the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Judiciary Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. Senator Roberts, to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is one of a number of bills that has to do with loosely referred to as police reform. And I find this to be particularly important in our efforts to address some of the concerns that have been expressed both on a state and national basis. Specifically, what this bill does is it opens up, if there is a peace officer who is seeking a job at a new agency, law enforcement agency, the hiring agency will have the ability to know more about that peace officer's record. And by that, what I mean is if there has been an instance where that officer intentionally misrepresented the facts either in court or by affidavit, or as in an incident with the use of excessive force, this would allow the hiring agency to know that about that officer. The officer would, he or she would sign a waiver to allow the access of their personnel file to be disclosed to the hiring agency. But this is important in maintaining and restoring, for those who have had some trust issues with law enforcement in their community, this will help to restore that by making sure those with a bad history, it is revealed to the hiring agency prior to them making that new hire. So happy to address anything further, but I think Senator Cook may have some additional information.
The good senator from Weld County.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Cook.
Thank you. Basically, in the industry, what we're trying to stop here is what's known as gypsy cops. An officer that might work for one agency, have a sustained complaint of misrepresentation or lying, and then what sometimes happens is that the original agency will seal that officer's record in order to get him to or her to resign instead of being fired, because it makes it a lot easier for the CEO. Then that officer will then go to another agency, and when they do a background check, it won't show up. So this takes care of that problem of bad cops, which might go from one agency to another, would stop that practice. And it also requires that agency to notify the district attorney's office. And so that way, they'll get what is known as a Brady jacket, and the DAs will then send all that information out to all the defense attorneys. And so that way, basically, it makes it an effect that officer can never testify in court again. So, the other thing we also did is limited the liability of the city or the county or the state, so that when they release that information based on a viable waiver, that city, county, or state cannot be liable for releasing that information. And I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Minority Leader Carroll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank the sponsors for the work on what's here. The whole system requires candor for every other part of criminal justice to work, and I think hiring agencies need to know that when they're doing their due diligence on background, that people are free to share candor if there has been an issue or problem with misrepresentation before in the past. So I just want to thank the sponsors for their work on the bill and also ask for an aye vote.
Senator Balmer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm also appreciative of the sponsors' work on this bill, and I know other bills that are coming. My concern has been, and I think this is just part of a solution to it, and that is that there has been a track record, and I won't single out any particular department in the state, but there's been a track record of officers sometimes changing what actually happened at the scene when they come back and write reports because they're pressured to do so by other people, either higher up or laterally in their chain of command. And I think that any way that we can get at that of encouraging just absolute honesty in what happened at the scene, and I think that the body cameras will dramatically improve that as well. Remember that will improve it from the standpoint of making sure that the officer is also protected. I am not excited about creating the shield for municipal governments. I think that the pressure of being held accountable in a tort setting would be a good thing. But overall, I do support Senate Bill 218, and I appreciate all the hard work of the sponsors. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And to be clear, municipal police departments are also under this bill, so it would have to do with police departments, sheriff's departments. There's a pretty extensive list to whom this would apply, including Division of Parks and Wildlife and the Town Marshal's Office. So I think the coverage is pretty broad and important, and I appreciate those who've risen in support, and I would renew our motion for the adoption of Senate Bill 218 and ask for an aye vote on second reading.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 218? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 218. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill passes. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 135? Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the committee lay over the balance of general order second reading of bills, which includes Senate Bill 135, Senate Bill 91, Senate Bill 177, and Senate Bill 209 to April 6.
You've heard the motion to lay over the remaining bills on the second reading calendar to April 6th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the committee has met and had one bill under consideration this morning. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
March 30th, 2015. Mr. President, your committee of the whole basis reports that under consideration of the following task bills being second read thereof makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 218 is amended, passed on second reading in order and gross placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bills 135, 91, 177, and 209 laid over until April 6, 2015, retaining their place on the calendar.
Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Is there further discussion on the motion to adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 218, as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 135, Senate Bill 91, Senate Bill 177, Senate Bill 209, laid over until April 6th and retaining their place on the calendar. Consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar. Mr. Majors, please read all of the governor's appointments on the consent calendar.
Members of the Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board for terms expiring November 7th, 2017. Lachey Kennedy of Aurora, Colorado, to serve as a parent, reappointed. Gregory Jackson Tung, MPH, PhD of Denver, Colorado, serves as a representative with knowledge of child abuse prevention, appointed.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate confirm the governor's appointments listed on consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar, which includes members of the Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board.
Is there further discussion on the consideration of governor's appointments on the consent calendar? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board confirms Lachey Kennedy and Gregory Jackson Tung. Request for conference committee. Just read it. In response to a request from the House for a conference committee on House Bill 1072, the President appoints Senators Newell, Cook, and Roberts as Senate conferees on the first conference committee on House Bill 1072. Senator Newell is the chair. Signing of bills.
I don't have to do anything.
February 27, 2015, the President signed Senate Bill 161. March 30, 2015, the President signed House Bill 1046, 1067, 1074, 1092, 1145, 1164, 1202, 1213, 1223, 1244, and House Joint Resolution 1016.
Announcements. Senator Baumgardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. I have someone here this morning that I'd like to introduce. He's practicing for his future. If you'd please stand up, it's my son Matthew. If we could welcome him to the chamber.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I could have a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
I just wanted to say it's not so much only my future, but also my past. My husband is up in the gallery, and my daughter was there too, but maybe she left to use the restroom. So just wanted to say hello to my husband.
Senator Roberts, that's $2. Gallery. Senator Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just by way of announcement, folks, we do have Appropriations Committee at noon today to hear the 20 bills that are the long bill package. We will see you there up at 356 up on the Senate committee's chambers. And lunch will be served for the members of the Appropriations Committee.
Further announcements. Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, colleagues. On your desk, you should have received an invitation to the UVC banquet that is on Sunday, April 19th at the Renaissance Denver Motel. Some of you have probably already RSVP'd, but if you haven't, it's not too late yet. It's a fun event of about 400 veterans from throughout the state. And the social time starts at 3:30 and the banquet and speech starts at 5. The speaker this year will be particularly interesting with all of the news and all of the information in the paper about the VA hospital. And so the keynote speaker is the Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Mr. Sloan Gibson. Encourage you all to join the VA and go to the banquet. Thank you.
Further announcements. Senator Newell. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, just a couple of things. One to note is we did have one of our colleagues pass away recently. I know there's been talk about a funeral and reception services for Representative Franna Mace. That funeral will be held on Tuesday, March 31st at 12 p.m. at the Romero Funeral Home, 4750 Tejon Street in Denver. And then a reception following until 5 p.m. at the Potenza Lodge, 38th and Shoshone Streets. I've got that information if you didn't get to write that down. There was also one of our colleagues who passed recently, Bob Allen, and we will be scheduling that memorial for this week, looking toward Wednesday. With that, we are going to leave the desks open and recess to bring some bills over. So, Mr. President, move that the Senate recess to 1 p.m. today. Ask for an aye vote.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The Senate will be recessed until 1 p.m. today.